Hello everyone. If you are new to n8n workflow, or if you are trying to create your first workflow using n8n but you have no idea how to start with or how to integrate with the existing apps and how the API keys can be created to start with, right? Then this video will definitely help you understand how you can kickstart your n8n experience, right? So today I'm going to cover a basic workflow that takes your input as a prompt, and then it gets into my YouTube account and then queries based on your input term, and then it gives you the statistics and more details about uh, the results given by the YouTube search, that we will be adding it into our Google Sheets for the later review. So this is a initial step for a big project. So I'll help you understand how this actually works and what are all the APIs we have enabled in order to get this done, right? First thing we have is when chat message is received. So mostly you will see this is your first node, because this is what takes your input message from the chat and then passes through the workflow. And the second thing what I have here is get many videos, which is an YouTube action, which requires a YouTube connectivity, right? By default, you will see with a cross mark saying that this plug node is added, but it's not enabled because it requires a connectivity or a credentials to the to read from your YouTube account. Right? When you open this, you will see credentials to connect with, which is empty. So this is where we need to connect to your Google account. But when you start creating a new credentials, it will ask you for a client ID and client secret. But we do not have a client ID and client secret by default. So that is where we need to go to our Google account and then start creating it. So we can onboard n8n to connect your Google account and then start accessing your YouTube data. To start, to do this, you need to get into Google Console. So get into console.cloud.google.com. So this will be your home page. And then first, what you need to do is you need to create a project, and the project will become an app that we can onboard it to n8n workflow. So just search for project. Right? So I'm going to create a project, and I'll be giving a n8n demo as a project name. So I'm going to create this as a project. Once it's done, yes, my project is created. So I'm going to select this as the current project, n8n demo. And once it is done, next thing what I need to do is I need to get into APIs and services. So here I need to enable the OAuth consent screen, right? So because what we need is our OAuth client secret and client ID that we can give it to n8n workflow. So get started, and it will ask you for the app name. We can give the same name as a project, which is n8n demo. Then I can say I can use my personal email because that is the Google account I'll be using for this demo purpose. Then next is I want to keep this as an external, so I can use it from any third party tools. Then go to next. Then same contact information from my end. Then I agree to complete the setup. Then create. So this will set up the project based on the information that we have given, and also it will allow us to create our clients, which is this is where you can create your uh, client ID and client secret, right? So in this case, we will be using this project for web applications. So you can again give the name as it can be anything, but I would like to keep it same as my project name. Then redact URIs. So default application type should be web applications, and the name we can give anything. So I'm just aligning this as same as my project name. The next thing, we don't have to do anything for JavaScript origins, but I need to keep the authorized redirect URIs. This will be the same as what we are getting from the n8n here, right? So that n8n will use this URL to connect with our Google account to complete the authentication. Right now, this is done. Now I've got a client ID and client secret. So this is what I need to use in here. So the client ID is copied, pasted, and the client secret also, right? Right. So this is done. Now what I can do is I can close this one. These IDs anyway, I will be deleting or deactivating this client after this demo. And now we have this n8n project is created and n8n demo was also completed, right? So now it will allow you to connect to your Google account, but our plugin is YouTube account, right? So you will have to enable the YouTube also to work with this client secret key that we have created. So in the same search box within the project, search for YouTube. Now you will see V3 API data for YouTube connectivity. Now select that. This is where you need to enable the API, enable this. So once it's enabled, we will be able to test the connectivity in uh, connectivity from the n8n workflow. So it looks like, this is enabled already. And if you see, we have, okay, so we have what already created for this one. And now if I go on, sign in with Google, it's asking me for which account it is. It belongs to this particular ID. So my validation has not completed. So I'll have to come back here, OAuth consent screen. Right. So now get back to OAuth platform. In my audience. So if you see in our audience, I need to publish this app. So this will be publicly accessible from n8n workflow. So when I do this, I'll have to go through a couple of steps, which will be overview now. Yeah, so this is already completed. Now I can get back and then start testing this with my account. Yeah. So now it's indicating that Google has not verified this app because this is something we have created just now. And this normally doesn't go through the verification process, but it's only for testing scenarios. Now, in this case, you can just keep this message and get to advanced and then click on go to n8n cloud and save, which will still allow you to complete the authentication setup. Continue this. You need to give all the permissions, and once the connection is successful, this tab will automatically get closed in 5 seconds. So if you see, your account is already connected. Now, if you want to reconnect and refresh the authentication, you can use it. But as far as we are concerned, your client ID and client secret has been accepted and you have a live connection with this one, right? Now, if you go back, you will see that the into mark is removed because we have a valid connectivity. Now we can start testing, how this works, right? For example, I'm disconnecting it for now through the continuous workflows. Now let's see how these two flow works, right? So this node will only take an input message from you from here. And this node, we have some configurations enabled. For example, you have a YouTube account connectivity added that we have just seen. And my resources video, that is what I need to extract from this tool. And my operation is get many. So I don't want to extract only one video. So I have selected written many, like what are all the number of videos that Google search result is responding back. I need to get all the videos and select a written all, right? So I do have some filters added in here. For example, filters. I don't want to give every results that's given by YouTube. Instead, I need to set it to last 2 months of videos. So I have set to a time frame, like anything that is published after May 2025. Then my query is what I'm giving in the chat input, right? So these things you will get once you start testing the workflow. For example, if you start testing this, right, you have to say, right, so I have to disable all other nodes, right? It is making a search during this time. And if you see, the first is already completed. You have sent a message, n8n workflow. There is a typo, but still it's not an issue for YouTube. And get many videos is again, it sends a message and there is a chat input, right? So what we have done here is I have this published after added, which is after before from this option. The second option I have is query. So that query is also picked from the dropdown, and you have a schema available from your previous node, which is a chat input. So this will be my query term for YouTube. So I've selected this and then added it here. So to show you how this was done, just do a drag and drop, it will do the job, right? So once it's done, you have a live connections, you have an input query from your chat window, and that goes to your YouTube, and then it returns a response back in this format. So these are all the data returned by the YouTube API. I have a 621 results. Now these are all like very minimal informations that I've got from YouTube. Now my next step will be like how I can, yeah. So next is HTTP request. So this is a additional API which we will be doing for each of the videos to get more information, like what are the statistics, what are the more details that I can extract, like a tags and all, and more descriptions on the videos. So those informations we will extract from a Google API again. So previously we have connected directly to YouTube video plugin. Now we will be using Google API to extract more information about the video. Now, since we have already done our trial executions, we've got all the schemas and then sample results. Now, only thing is, this is the URL we need to use. It's a Google API URL, and this is specifically for extracting more information on YouTube videos, right? So I'll add all these things in the video as a description that you can copy and reuse it for your use case. So the plugin or the node I've used is HTTP request, so that you can simply search from here. So this is the one that I have used. And what you need to give in this case is URL, and your method will be get, because we are trying to extract more information from the URL. And the authentication is preferred credential type. So I have this selected, and the type I want to use is YouTube OAuth 2 API that you can search from here. So now in this case, we have a YouTube OAuth 2 API. I'm going to connect it with the YouTube account that we have already created. Now we are good with this one. Then send query parameters. So what are all the query parameters that we have? Just going to send it to the same YouTube account YouTube APIs to extract more metadata from this one, right? Now the query parameters that I've chosen for this one is ID, because on top of this, we have to append the ID as a request payload. So YouTube, Google API can extract more information from YouTube, and the ID will be from the response payload on previous YouTube plugin, right? So you have this ID. So this video ID, right? This is this video ID. I've just simply drag and dropped. So this will be a runtime parameter, dynamic parameters for all the 621 videos that we have extracted, and then part. So this is the query parameters that is given by YouTube itself. So there are more attributes, but only need these details to extract specific content from a YouTube video. You can still add more parameters if you need, but for now, this is what we are going to use for. And once it's done, you can try to execute these steps, because we already have a request or the payload from the previous step. Now, based on this, it will make a new API call for the Google API domain, and using your YouTube account, it will extract more informations for each of the YouTube ID we have given. It will give you more content details, snippet, and statistics. So these are all not by default given by the YouTube videos, but we are going to make an additional API calls to extend these information, uh, because that's what will be useful for our future use cases. Now, when you execute this, so it is executing the previous nodes. And once we have more data, because it will take some time, the results are huge. So search results will take some time to get back to you. And once we have this, now if you see, we have kind, etab, items. These are all the standard information given by the YouTube adapter. But if you see total results, yeah. So if you see this statistics, content details, and what else we have about it? Snippets. So snippets also, it will be there as a thumbnail here. This So these three informations were not there by default in your standard payload, but we are extending this now. So for snippet was there by default, but the only thing we have extended is content details and statistics. If you see what is in statistics, you have a view count, like count, these things. So using this, we can see what videos are more popular, when was it published, and if we need a boosting to those videos, or if you want to recreate a content, or if you want to use it as a sample, then you can continue with this flow. Now, next thing what we are going to do with this is AI transformation, because the data that we have got, it is in a JSON format. Now, it's still, it's not structured for us to use it in our Excel, or in our offline processing, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to create a AI transformation that will convert this content into a structured data based on my template, right? So these are all the HTTP request response payload. So based on this, I only need these 4 or 5 fields as a my output data, right? For example, I need a title, snippet title, that is your video title, then description, then and tags from the video, and view counts and like counts and the comment counts. So these are all the only data that we are going to export it from the HTTP request payload, right? Now, after giving this instructions, just create a generate code. Now it will automatically generate a JavaScript for you, and you can start using this. You don't have to write any code in this case. You're just giving instructions to as a prompt based on the schema support you have from your previous response payload. Then it generated a code for you. Then you can start executing this step. So what it will do is it will pass the information from your previous response payload, and then it will create a structured output. Right? For example, see, there is a title, description, tags, view count, like count, comment count. So these are all the only fields that I've asked for. Now it is done. Now, as a next step, what are we going to do with this data? So now it is only in my n8n workflow. I want to send this to my Google Sheets, right? So I created a Google Sheet, empty sheets. I have the URL copied. Now I need to start using Google Sheets account. Now this is again, we need to create. So in this case, I'm going to create a new credentials. So I have two options here. One is sign in with Google, or I can use OAuth recommended, right? So when I use OAuth, it will again ask you to sign in with Google. So I'm going to use my account to sign in. And this specific step, if you want to enable this app from Google API, then you will have to select Google Sheets, similarly how we have done for YouTube API, right? So we have to enable Google Sheets API as well. So in my account, we are going to enable this API. Now this is done. Now I am going to enable this, continue, connection successful. So this tab will get automatically closed. Now my account is already linked to this one. Now I can close this tab. Now if you see, I am going to update a spreadsheet document with the output data from the AI transformation, because we have only limited information that we need for future use cases. Now, my resource will be sheet within the document. My operation will be append or update in row. If the document has already some data, then I want to update row. In future, we can use more AI to uh, compare and then update it, or merge duplicates, or you can, do a data processing and then keep your spreadsheet very clean. So for now, we are only this is a brand new requirement. So we are going to just pass the informations or append the informations from our AI transformation to Google spreadsheet. So I'm going to link. So based on my account connectivity, it will automatically list me all the available spreadsheets. So I'm going to name it as a n8n demo. So now it got refreshed. n8n demo I've chosen. Next, the sheet we need to select, it will automatically tell you which sheets are available based on the live connectivity we have. And the map columns, I don't want to map each columns manually. I have structured the data already for my export criteria. So instead of choosing manually, I can say that map automatically, which means, system knows that the AI transformation has already given me the data in a structured format. It can simply copy paste the values into my Google Sheets, right? Now, when I execute this step, it is connected to my Google account, and I have given the what document it needs to update and what sheet it needs to update. I have given the mappings also, right? Now, next things when you do, you can do a comparisons for column to match on. So a if you have the similar titles, or if you have video IDs, and if there are updates to the videos, you can use the columns to match on, and based on that, it will start doing an update. That will be an append operations, since we have selected update or an append row, right? So now this is my out. I have a title, I have a description, tags are also there, view count, like count, one count. Now it's all for n8n tutorials. Now next time when you do a video on n8n tutorials, we can know that what tags and what descriptions gives you a better result in terms of views, um, right? So this will help you understand like what descriptions and tags are more effective when you publish a video in YouTube for the similar topic. Now, if I go to my Google Sheets, you can see that the same data has been updated in my document. No, that's it. So this is the simple end-to-end process of how you can integrate with your YouTube and how you can extract more information from YouTube, transform the data, and then store it in your Google account. Now, you don't have to do this every time. Since we have the data in Google accounts, you can create a sub process that reads the data from your Google account or from your sheets, and then start getting into each of the videos, and then you get a summary of it. You can plan on what's the next video you can create from here. That's it. For more videos about n8n workflows, and then more tutorials on what's new or how to connect with different APIs or different tools or plugins available within n8ns, follow for more. Thank you guys, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I'm going to create more videos and to help every beginners understand how we can effectively work on n8n workflow and how we can automate more business process. Follow for more. Please don't forget to subscribe so you will get to know when there are new videos available. Thank you.